So with your clients, do you have, I guess, any like coaching that you do when it comes to their diet as far as getting them on the path to wellness?
So what I love, I just start with strictly, nobody makes their own stuff anymore. And I won't even go like ingredient sourcing really, because it's overwhelming, right? I'm just like, and I'll share with you a little 12-year-old. I mean, the dad and the mom had him thinking that he had extra fat. He was fat. And I'm like, oh my God, like children's nervous systems are going like, this is a time to actually support that. It's okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. But he had this complex, and I was like, okay, what food do you think is not a good food for you? He's like, in the morning, blueberry muffins. And so I literally had him, this little 12-year-old got up, made his own blueberry muffins. He brought them in, had me try one. They were fantastic. He noticed he had less. So if we take 3 months and you just start making your own dressings, making your own food, like just going through that process of planning it, that's really the if you can do that, I know you can type into localharvest.org and locate a farm and go tour the farm near you to go form a relationship with a local farmer. Like if I said that right away, it's like, oh God, like I gotta go befriend somebody, and I don't want to bring someone else in on this whole thing. I'm like, no, I totally get it. But if I know somebody can just start to, I mean, think about this, just starting to make their own dressings, like just dressings. I mean, we all have salad, but you bomb a Newman's own dressing. Like if you just started to make your own dressings, or like you said, make your own pancakes from scratch, make this, just that alone, then we can get more aggressive on the other stuff. But again, you don't have to count calories if the food's coming from a source, because you'll just stop. You just won't eat anymore. And I've been depressed and I've been angry, and I eat out of those emotions, and I don't shame myself. I'm like, yep, I'm depressed and I'm going to have at this, and I'm going to enjoy this moment. And sure enough, the next morning I don't feel as well. I'm like uncomfortable, even if it's whole. I'm like, oh my gosh, why was I feeling that feeling? Why was I getting that? But what I love now is, in addition to that, giving people the resources. Like there's a cookbook, Nourishing Traditions from Weston A. Price, and it's more like a textbook. I mean, it shows you how to make your own sodas, and how to make your own mayonnaise, make your own ketchup, make your own, like just how we used to do things, these traditional forms of doing stuff. Because you mentioned AI. Everyone's trying to disconnect human to this newer, faster, more streamlined, connected. And I couldn't see us. I think we're more disconnected than ever because of that. And some of the stuff now is getting back to that old school way of doing stuff, because I'll say it, in any facet of your health life, when the body's freaking out, it loves simple. It loves, that's why you go to some cancer place or you go to some holistic, they always fast you right off the start. Why? The most simple form of nutrients, fast, like just stop. And it's like, okay, what's the first exercise we ever learned how to do? Breathe. Boom. There's your training for like the next month. You are just going to breathe, or you're going to move like a baby. Or what we do after that, we stared at the sun, or we started to do these simple things like sleeping. A baby would sleep, breathe, nurse, release, eliminate. Let's start there, And so I love that, giving people those resources, because what I'm trying to do, a friend of mine who's a doctor, she had 20 minutes with one of her patients who had cancer. And it was one of the things that the parents were butting heads on who wants what treatment. And it was this really uncomfortable thing, because the daughter was being pulled both ways in the middle, and this little 13-year-old angel who's not feeling well, right? And is scared. And so the doctor had 20 minutes with her. And I get goosebumps now, because if you had 20 minutes to talk to somebody, and it might possibly the last time you're going to talk to them, what would you want them to know God, I got goosebumps on goosebumps right now. So she goes, here's what I want you to do. The model over there that they've diagnosed you with, they use a certain language. So what I want you to do is I want you to get a Harvard textbook or whatever textbook of a medical facility that you trust. They always say Harvard, they always say Stanford. You can rent these things. I want you to look at the diagnosis in there and then the treatments. And I want you to look at the language. So this is a girl moving forward with her care because she's going to try to beat this stuff naturally because the other side didn't work and almost killed her. And she goes, I had to get her to understand the language they use. And she goes, in the diagnosis, she was reading some of the stuff. And she goes, look, it's hypothesized that this is this. It's presumed. There's a 40% chance on a hypothesis and she goes, what is hypothesis? She goes, a guess? Exactly. So they're guessing on all these diseases, but over here, the treatment is ironclad. You have to do this treatment. On a guess, that's a percentage of a guess. So she just goes, listen, what she taught her in 20 minutes was how to think. And that's what we've been disconnected. Nobody wants to think anymore. Everybody wants to be told, even in our world, even in the holistic world. Hey, will you stop doing that? Will you guys organize a protest so we can end this? Will you tell me what to do? No. Why are you being such a dick? Just tell me. I'm going to unfollow. Right? Why do you do coffee enemas? It doesn't matter why I do them. Go research them. Go try it. Go see what your body tells you. Coffee enema?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're fantastic.
That sounds so intense.
So it's not
that makes me scared.
Coffee. I mean, it's no, but I was turned on to him. Kelly Brogan's into him. My buddy who's Serbian, he's been on him for a while. And every Saturday, Sunday, I'll do three Saturday, 3 Sunday. But they're a Gerson therapy clinic. A bunch of cancer institutes will do them. There's something to them. And I've been drawn to certain things. And if something comes across my dashboard and I can't ignore it anymore, I go tackle it. And there's a couple things. Well, I've been doing coffee enemas for quite a while, but again, I posted it on Instagram, just like a picture of me holding the bucket, not like me. Uh-huh. And they're like, why do you do them? And I'm like, go research and find out. Why do you have to be such a dick? I'm sorry, but that's where we're at now, right? The reason I told that story, there are a couple reasons, but she had 20 minutes. She wanted a 13-year-old to think about her care, to think about what her body's doing, to think about the brilliance of it, because nobody else wants you to think that or critically think about anything. That's why they hide the information or they do stuff that's automated or they shut us down or they go, we got to get back to that critical thought again. And I thought that was brilliant, almost to tears, because, this little girl's struggling and scared. And when she was done with it, she was like, she had this like power back. Like, I can do this. Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's so important because when you're really sick, it's a really vulnerable time. And the last thing you want is someone just like dismissing you and not including you in your own treatment plan. Like for me, that was the worst part of when I was sick. I mean, obviously nowhere near as difficult as cancer, but still very traumatic. And the most powerful thing was when I decided to, take my autonomy back and say, I'm going to participate in my healthcare decisions because it's my body. So I think it's really wonderful to try to get people to actually do the research. And obviously, no, you don't have a degree, but that I can tell you right now, I probably know more about like PCOS and Graves' disease than most doctors do. And that's just a fact. Do you know what I mean? Like I've lived with it for so long that I've consumed so much material from all sides because I don't have a dog in the fight, right? Like I don't care if you're holistic or if you're traditional medicine, I'm going to read both. And then I'm going to kind of see where I feel the science makes the most sense or like the outcomes make the most sense, where both parties can be so convicted in their team that they're not willing to hear the other side. So I think you have a huge advantage from being the patient, right? Because you're just so open to anything, really.
That's what I love. And that's what I think is way more powerful. That's why I'm burning my degrees, is that the degrees limited me. The degrees made me worse. And I'll full say that. It's $500,000 in education I could have gotten. I mean, it's a Good Will Hunting quote. It's the $1.45 in late charges of the public library. Like we could just go get the information, dive down and go access it in this unbiased way, and then you go see what sits with you, what resonates, keep what makes sense, discard the rest, and never stop digging. Keep going, keep going. And that's what makes you, the doctor should be listening to you, not the other way around, but we've got it to where it's, I'm degreed, science says, and now it's even over 90%. There might not be any science left out there that's not bought or purchased, according to Dr. Tenpenny and some others who are like, it's so that the whole like science is like challenging, right? Like science is never settled. It's I don't know, but that's the scary thing. But I would put what you said right there. We don't have to be scientists, virologists, immunologists, doctors to take an active approach in our health journey, our bodily sovereignty, our autonomy. Like you said, it's our accountability, our responsibility right now. And they joke, the doctors will put the post, yeah, my degrees, and your mom Googled the term or whatever. And then over here, like, yeah, I could Google because I'm not bound by some, school. It's like everybody's using that thing. And what seems to work with you. I'm not saying either. Go whatever sits with you. I know what I'll do. You know what you'll do. And that's all we can do.